Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to create this walk cycle in Blender. To create this walk cycle in Blender, we're going to need a few things.
These things from a few programs:
Sketchfab, Mixamo, and Blender. So let's head in and do that. So go to Sketchfab, type Sketchfab in your browser, and go to Sketchfab and type in Sketchfab rigged Spider Man and find this model that says Rig Spider-Man 3D model, free download. Click onto that. So this model looks good. Thank you. We give a shout out to Arjun P. Kushner for this wonderful, beautiful model of Spider-Man. So go to download free model, click on here, and then download the FBX format. I've already downloaded the rig, so I'm going to head over to Blender and open a rig. Remember to download the FBX format of 18 megabytes and download that. Once you download it, we're going to open it in Blender. Okay. So now we're in Blender and we're going to import that model that we downloaded from Sketchfab. For us to do that, we have to go to File. We're in Blender, File, Import, FBX. Make sure it's the FBX file because that's the file that we downloaded. And find downloads. Make sure you've extracted your or unzipped or extracted the files from the download, because usually they'll be zipped up or compressed. So make sure you unzip them. Once you've done that, you locate the file, which is Rig Spider-Man 3D model, free download. Click into the source and you'll find your FBX format there, FBX format. Click on that and import it. Okay, so once you've ported it, because this is a rigged file, or rigged, sorry, model, we need to do some particular steps to get to the way we want it. So let's delete some of these, this camera by Peasant X, delete the camera cinema editor, delete the cube, and now we just left with the light. We can even delete the light. We left with the skeleton and the Spider-Man model. So what we want to do is we want to delete the skeleton. Yep. And then now we are left with the model. Now it's unrigged. We've taken off the pose or the rig from the mesh. Now we want to orientate this model into in a desired position. So we want to zero out the location here. So let me just pull this area a bit better for us to see. And you click 0. And we want to zero out these rotations here. And we want to put on the rotation X, we want to put it to 90. So we want to zero that out. Okay, or put it to 90 degrees, sorry. Next, we want to make sure our Spider-Man is selected. And we want to go to Object, Apply, and all transformations to deltas. So they want to click that. So all transformation to deltas, click on that. So now we zeroed out all, made the mesh zeroed out and all of its attributes here, and location, rotation, and scale. So it's all now zeroed out. And it's perfectly orientated in 3D space in the Blender software. So this is really good. So what I would like you to do is now save this file. So save it wherever you feel like saving it. So I'm going to save it in one of these folders here, or any folder that you like. I'm going to save it as Spider-Man Tutorial Walk. Okay. Once you do that, make sure it's saved. Okay. Next, what we would like to do, we want to now export this FBX. Now we want to make a new FBX file. So for us to do that, we want to go File, instead of import export, FBX, okay? And want to export it, want to give a name. So I'm going to give a name, Spider-Man example tut 2. You can name whatever you like. Okay, so Spider-Man example tut 2. Okay, and I'm going to export that. Okay, so now that is done. So that's now exported. Now the next step, you want to go to a great resource, a great Adobe software and site called Mixamo. If I'm saying that right, Mixamo. And that's going to help us to now use mocap information and mocap animations to drive our characters, to make animation with our characters. So now we have the Mixamo website. It's really a fantastic place where you can get animation for free and to do great animations with the mocap data that is available on the website. Yeah, Adobe's really done a great job with this. I really enjoy the resource that it has, the incredible resource that it has with animations. So either you can log in if you have not logged in before, you can log in or sign up if you haven't signed up before. So once you've logged in, you'll be prompted with this the screen again, and it will tell you to browse characters or browse animations. So you can either log in by using a personal email or using a Google Gmail account. Look at the instructions of how you can log in and choose one of them that best suits you. So now I've logged in. I'm now ready set to create some animations. So now you can browse animations, you can browse characters. Mixamo has a plethora of characters as well as a whole great amount of data of mocap information. So I'm going to browse in animations. I already have that example or that FBX file of Spider-Man already. So I'm going to now show you again how to, let's say, upload our character into Mixamo and get our animations working. So now we go to upload character here. You might not have the same example because this is the last example, the last model or FBX model that I've used with this program. So now you have an empty space. So go to upload character and go to select file. Make sure it can be either FBX, OBJ, or zip. So make sure we select, we already made an FBX file, so make sure we select character file. And we're going to pick that name that we named it was Spider-Man example tut 2024-2. So we're going to open that out. So now that's going to load. It's going to take a few seconds for us to load that in. Once we're happy with that, remember we can look at the rotation of character to see where we would like to rig and how we like to rig it from what position. So I like to rig from the front. So that's the best way. You can rig from the top or bottom, all these ways. So that's really good. A function for you to now place where you want to rig the character. Now, most of the time you want to rig it from this dimension, from the front dimension. It's probably the best way to view the character rig. And once you're happy with that, go to next. Now we've got to place these points in the particular place to get this, to give the algorithm which Mixamo is going to use to rig our character, to auto rig our character. So go to the chin attribute and click on where you think that it will be best, where the chin is. So click there. Plus you have a kind of close up on the side screen to see where we put in the points. So that looks good. So remember, right click, place it to where you want it and release. Okay, your mouse. Now make sure use symmetry is on, so we can use the symmetry to place these next points on the wrists. So you want to place it in the right place, the wrist star. Once you've got the desired point, release. And the next one, we want to use the elbows. We want to get the elbows. So we're going to click where we think the elbows are. Go place the elbows, it's right there. And then now we want to use the knees. So we're going to click on the knees. So just where the center knees is, put it there. Make sure you've got a good place where you feel being there. And now we want the groin, so that's more of the pelvic area. I want to place it there. So once you're happy with all the places these points are, we've got standard skeleton 6.5, and everything's right the way you like it, the way it's you desire. Click next. And now the auto rigger Mixamo's or Adobe Mixamo's auto rigger is going to now rig our auto rig, our mesh, our FBX mesh, and it's going to take a few minutes to do. So once that's done, which it has done now, it will show us the example of how it rigged the character. It looks like the deformations of the character and the way it's rigged is really good. I do really like the way it's moving. So this is the preview or review page just to show you that how it's rigged the character. After you're happy with that, you press next. The 3D character has been now uploaded. Proceed with the new character. Okay. Yep. So proceed. Now it's time for us to pick an animation to use to make this example show how it works. So as you can see, that looks really good. You can use many animations. It's got one like that, got move one like this. They're doing some sort of break dance move. It's really good. We can now use the zoom examples of the character, and plus this is the 3D space, so now you can zoom in and out. So using these, well, I say you can zoom in and out, you can move, you can pan. Okay, so by holding on the right clicking on the screen here, you can pan around or orbit around the character. Holding down the mouse button or the middle mouse button, the rolling mouse button, you can pan left and right, up and down. And you could zoom in and out with the middle mouse button as well. So you could actually view the character in 3D space and see how the characters react in the environment, which is really good. This is absolutely a brilliant program to use for you to get started making animations, your films, your animations, documentaries, whatever it may be. This is a great asset, a great resource to do that. So now we're going to use example. This is in the tutorial. So you have to find the example. So I think it was called struct. So we're going to use that one, struts. This is the one. Yep. So let's look at it from this position. Okay. And you now have on this right-hand side different attributes. You have your speed, stride, overdrive, character, arm space, and trimming. So you can trim the animation of how you from where the animation is, how many frames you want it to be. So I think it's really good that they have all these attributes that you can use. So you can change these attributes as much as you want, and it will change the look of the animation. Okay, so once you're happy with all of that and you feel that everything is the way you like it, you can now download this FBX example. So we're going to go to download this right now. Okay, so make sure format is FBX, that's what you want it, 30 frames per second. Make sure that the project you're working with, so whether it is Blender or any 3D software, make sure that your project frame per second is the same as the FBX file that you're going to download. Make sure you want to download settings with skin and the keyframe reduction as none. So when all of these are good, press download. Okay. So once that's done, that's downloaded, which is good. We want to now go back into Blender and import this file in Blender. So that was now downloaded. So we actually don't need this file format or this file anymore, so we can close and open a new one. So let's go open, don't save. Let's go file, new, general, don't save. Okay, so now we've got a new one. We want to take a new file. We want to take away this cube, delete by pressing X. So now we want to import that FBX file back into Blender. For us to do that, we go to import, press FBX, find that file that we had. So it would be name struct walking. My one struct walking 1 because I've downloaded it before. Click import FBX. Now we have our model that's here, which is good. Now we can see the keyframes that has been selected. If we press has been that's showing up on the screen, if we press play, we can see that walk happening now. But we like it to loop or continue walking, as the example Mixamo an example of this tutorial. So for us to do that, we need to go into animation mode up here. It's join the screens by right clicking. Make sure the mouse changes into this two-way or two-facing away arrows, and press right click and join arrows and join the area. So click on the place you want to join, or let the other screen overtake the other screen. So once we've done that, we can see all these animation layers that are made from the mocap information we have here. So now we want to go to graph editor. We're in dope sheet, so click on this button here, go to graph editor, and now we have our graph information. It's all highlighted, so make sure you capture. If you want to zoom in and out, is the middle mouse button, roll in and out, zoom in and out. Make sure you select all of them, and we want to go to channel, add F curve modifier, and press cycles. So this will now cycle that information or that information. The only thing now is repeating itself back into the same position it started. So we don't want that. We want it to continuously to go forward. And for us to do that is stop. We've got to find the hip or the motion that's driving it forward. And that information is in the hips. So if you open the hips, we can see in a Z location, that's where the forward motion is moving. We have to look into the modifiers, not the F curve, but the modifiers. We have to look at repeat motion. We don't want to repeat motion. We want to repeat with offset. So once we click that, it will now repeat the motion offset. So if we press now play, it will move forward and continue to move forward. It's brilliant, isn't it? So if we want the animation to last longer, let's go back into our timeline and let's extend the end frame to, let's say, 500. Okay, and we've got to pull that over. So when we look into the timeline, you can see it doesn't show the frames because it is now using in the back end, it's now looping this action, these keyframes. Okay, because if we go back into the graph editor, we can see down here, if we go forward, we can see how this motion is still continuing when we can see down here. But because we've changed attributes in the modifier layer for the hips, it hasn't shown it here, but we can tell that it is moving because it's working. Okay. So that's really good. We have that all sorted out now. So the next part is to get those textures back in here into the model. For us to do that, is go into our normal layout. Let's bring that across. Let's click on the armature and get our Spider-Man model. And we want to get our texture. Function here. So we're going to click that. We already have a Spider-Man texture, which already came with the FBX model. but we need to relink it to its texture, its actual right texture. If we click on the shader texture, it's actually there, but we need to do some corrections there. So if we go to shading, this is the material for the shader, and we go inside. Here we can see the color, and that color is going into the base color of this mesh. So if we now look into here, we have to go to the Sketchfab file. So we have to go there. So if we click on that, let's go and find it. So it's in the downloads, isn't it? And then we click on there and we go to textures. That's the text that we need. So you have to click on that, open that, but it's already been put there. The problem is it's in the alpha. For some reason, we have the alpha channel function on. So we can just remove that, and that will now bring, because the alpha is now fading it. So you want to take that off. And then you have it there. So let's go back into our layout. Now we have a character. All done there. And let's go to play. And then we have a character now walking. So this is how you use Mixamo and Sketchfab and Blender to create walk cycles and interesting animations. So thank you for watching. Hope this helps, and I see you in the next one.